Thanks for joining us, and so long, everyone.
In the modern era. This man's cars have won 19 of the first 39. He started in 38 of those and won 14. And he's won 3 of the last 7 night races. But he's on the pole, and he could care less about records.
Genuine Draft 400 is brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft, cold filtered for real draft taste. So get out of the old, get into the cold. By New Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. By Lipton Iced Tea in cans and bottles. Sometimes you feel like a softer soft drink. By Goodyear, the unanimous choice of every NASCAR Winston Cup team. And by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America.
This beautiful three-quarter mile rather, is Richmond International Raceway, one of the nation's most modern racing facilities. And tonight takes a giant step backwards as Short Track Saturday Night returns to Richmond, Virginia. Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Joy, welcoming you to TBS live coverage of the Miller Genuine Draft 400. This place is filled, teeming with 61,000 race fans. There has not been a ticket available for sale since June. This place is just packed to the rafters to enjoy the talents of 36 of the finest stock car racing drivers in the world, set not only to entertain them and you, but to race for over $500,000. The 2 drivers that will start on the front row are an interesting contradiction. They've each had up and down seasons, victories and disappointments. Let's meet them now with the editor of Stock Car Racing magazine, Dick Berggren.
Well, Rusty Wallace is on the pole for the second time this year. He's got 2 wins on the season. He was absolutely dominant in practice and qualifying, but that's not the same as winning the race. Rusty, what are your concerns right about now?
Well, my concern's just messing up, something going wrong. Everything's going perfect all week long. Car's really been handling well. I just hope that thing stays handling well tonight. The motor's running really good. Car's been right. I just want to put this Pontiac up in victory lane one more time this year, at least one more.
And starting on the outside pole for the 4th time this year is Alan Kulwicki. Now, he was leading this race here in the springtime when his crew let him down, a muff pit stop, and that was that. But they brought their strongest weapon for this race tonight, the same car that he used to win the Bristol race with it. Alan, how hard you going to have to run tonight to win this thing?
Well, you're going to have to be there at the end. And it's one thing, the more I race, the more I learn. You got to stay out of trouble. So, you know, I think we're going to have to set a pretty fast pace. It's going to be cool and fast tonight, but you got to stay out of trouble early.
And working pit road with me tonight is the Dean of American Motorsports Journalist, the editor of National Speed Sport News, Chris Economaki.
Well, thank you, Dick. Well, I'm next to Dale Earnhardt, a man on his way to a 5th national championship, but he's buried back here in 16th position. Dale, would you rather this were a daytime race, or do you like it at night?
Well, if we get up to the front and race with the front leaders and try to win, we'll like it at night, but it really doesn't make a difference. We run last night, sort of got used to it. Got a good idea of what the track's going to do as far as cooling off, how much you have to loosen up and tighten up for that. So I think we're in good shape.
I know. Thank you very much, Dale. And now let's go topside and meet the captain of the announcing crew that will call the races today, Mr. Ken Gimpy Squire.
All right, thank you, Chris. It is the Richmond Raid we're about to experience out of here. 36 NASCAR Warriors ready to begin this assault. They'll be hitting the beaches in just a moment, and the prize, over $600,000 total for the action this evening. That will cover 300 miles, 400 laps. We're delighted to have working with us again tonight Neil Bonnett, and along here as well Ken Stabler. You've been down taking a look at things in the garage, Jerry, today. Lights, new trick. What do you think they're going to do out here with these lights tonight?
Well, I talked to Tim Brewer, the crew chief on the Junior Johnson Ford, and I talked to Dale Jarrett, the Citgo Ford, and they both basically said the same thing, Ken. A little bit of a glare problem in turn 4 that you're a little bit worried about, but I think they like the fact that the track will be cooler. The cooler weather will let them develop a little bit more horsepower, but I think the common reason they both like it is they'll get a Sunday off.
And Neil Bonnett, as we get ready for tonight, there's one thing about it. This track is going to stay rock solid constant for these 36 competitors.
Ken, and that's unusual. You know, last night at the Busch race, we had a bunch of the Winston Cup drivers run that race as a test bed for tonight. Not only did some of the drivers run, a lot of the mechanics and crew chiefs stayed over and watched that race to see what the characteristics would be of a cool racetrack at night. We don't have any sun to deal with. These guys were pleasantly surprised that the track does not do any changing. So if that's the case, all these cars have been preparing all day long. It should be a blistering pace when the race starts.
36 cars singing a song of victory right now as they get ready to roll in this Miller 400. And let's take a look at the 3/4 mile course over which they'll be competing.
Thank you, Ken. This track was built from the old Richmond Fairgrounds half mile using part of the backstretch in turn 3 where new grandstands already existed. They brought around the front stretch in a curving fashion so that all these seats would have an unobstructed view. It measures 3/4 of a mile around, and the turns are symmetrical. They're each banked 14 degrees at either end. The curving front stretch carries an 8-degree banking. The back stretch for drainage, water runoff in the event of rain is banked 2 degrees. The most difficult parts on this track, as proven last night, Neil Bonnett alluded to, turn number 2 especially. You notice as the cars come through 1, they have a very sharp radius to negotiate here, hard on the throttle. And the breakaway characteristics of the radial tires got some drivers in trouble up there last night. That'll be one spot to watch. Turn 4 is the other as they come off turn number 4 and back into that curving front straightaway. The track tends to tighten up on you, and you wish you had a little more racing room. Those are the tough spots here. Let's go back up top to Ken Squire.
And let's take a look at the starting grid tonight, the Haviland starting grid for these 36 competitors rolling down pit road and getting ready for action. On the pole is Rusty Wallace, who swept both races in that championship season of '89. Alan Kowicki will be alongside, who was the race winner at Bristol under the lights earlier this year. Row 2. There you find Davey Allison. His first win was on the first one of this 3/4 mile track was by Davey. Mark Martin is on the outside, still looking for his first win in '91. Row 3, Bobby Hamilton, outstanding rookie, is there. And Ernie Urban has had a couple of Winston Cup wins this season. Row 4, that's Ricky Rudd. And Kyle Petty will start alongside, making his second start since those injuries earlier this year at Talladega. In row 5, the guy who's won 14 races under the lights, Darrell Waltrip, and alongside the winner at Atlanta and Dover this year, Ken Schrader. Going to row 6, there you have Hut Strickland and Bobby Allison's Buick, and Rick Mast, the former winner here in Grand National ranks. Row 7 is Harry Gant, and alongside is Bill Elliott. In row 8 tonight, Sterling Marlin and Dale Earnhardt, the 5-time winner here at Richmond. In row 9, it's Jimmy Spencer in the Travis Carter car, and Jeff Bodine. For row 10, 13-time winner at Richmond, Richard Petty, and Terry Labonte, the '84 Winston Cup champion. Row 11 tonight is Brett Bodine in the Kenny Bernstein Buick, and Derek Cope, a strong 4th last week over at Darlington. In row 12, Greg Sachs out of Mattituck, New York, and the famous Larry Pearson, that second-generation driver, could be strong tonight. Row 13 is Dale Jarrett, and alongside the Colorado campaigner Wally Dallenbach Jr. Row 14, Florida's Rick Wilson, and Lake Speed is there. Row 15, it'll be Kenny Wallace making his 3rd start of the year in Winston Cup, and Chad Little. For row 16 tonight, Michael Waltrip deep in the field, and Morgan Shepherd in the Bud Moore Ford. Row 17, Dave Marcus, who's won twice here at Richmond, and Joe Ruttman, California campaigner and native. Row 18 is Teddy Musgrave, another fine rookie talent in NASCAR, and Jimmy Means, the veteran out of Huntsville, Alabama, rounding out the field. That's the Haviland starting grid as we prepare for action this evening in this Miller 400. They've completed the preliminary laps, made that run down pit road, a 40-mile-per-hour mark on pit road this evening, Neil.
Ken, they said it might be flexible.